Good afternoon. Welcome to the market close. We got ourselves, believe it or not, we got a green day. We've had a rough week on the market. A lot of red yesterday. Oh boy, yesterday was a very red day. So today, we're slowly making a little bit of recovery today, which is fantastic, at least on this side of the border. It's still a red day in the United States. So let's right off the top, let's get straight into the charts. Let's jump in. Let's jump in. Take a look at that. Take a look at that market. All right, the TSX, as I mentioned, we are having a green day. We are up 0.37%, and it. And I know if you're watching this on the phone, this is probably really, really hard to see. And holy cow, I thought I had moved my head down there to make it bigger. I don't know. It just decided to move its way back. But nonetheless, and here we go. Actually, you know what, guys? Let me just do this. There we go. Make it a little bit bigger. Make it a little bit bigger. So we do have a green day. We are technically in a red October now, thanks to, well, if you see this giant red candle, now this red candle is worse than it actually looks because look at this. This is where we closed out on Monday. We had a big gap, so we started we started quite a ways down. So yeah, it was a pretty red day yesterday for sure. But at least maybe there was a buy the dip opportunity. I think we're up high enough now that these buy the dips, at least this type of a dip, I don't think we're getting much of a buy the dip opportunity. But nonetheless, we got a little bit, our prices were a little bit lower. That is what the TSX looks like heading south of the border. And this is interesting. Like, look, guys, we're having a green day, but yet we are just underneath the blue line. Actually, we've just started to make a move in this last half hour. This last 15 minutes, we've almost broken even. We're getting really darn close. The S&P 500, now they are in a red day, even though they are getting that same green spike that we are towards the end of the day. They have moved back into green territory for the month. So they're above the blue line. And guys, if you're new to the channel, the blue line on my charts, that's where we left off at the end of the last month. So right now, S&P 500 is in bull territory technically. The Nasdaq, also similar situation, but they're down quite a bit today. They're down a full percent. But they've, once again, as you can see, the last part of the day seems to be pretty positive overall for the markets. They are moving up, and they're also in that bull category. Dow Jones down 0.7. They got a little bit of red towards the end of the day here. The Russell, and these are the little guys, the small caps. The Russell's looking fine. They're above the blue line, having a pretty good day. They are overall down 1.47%. But at least the second half of the day showing some positive. Maybe they can carry the momentum. Maybe all of these charts will carry that momentum tomorrow. That's what I'd like to see. That's what I'd like to see. Gold is down a little bit. Now, gold, of course, gold is one of the reasons that we had such a rough week. You can sort of see we've had this nice big trend going down. And if you guys remember, I think it was last market close on Friday, we were looking at a little chart from Paul showing 9 straight weeks in a row of green weeks for gold. And he was going on saying this week was going to be red. Well, Paul, I don't know if you're here yet or not, but you were right. You were right. We're getting that red week. And I suspected you were right because I did say we're probably getting a red week. But yeah, we are. Silver, also in the red today. Now, here's your one positive little thing here. Oil's having a pretty good day, up a full 3.94%. I'm loving it. And we'll look at crypto on the heat map. Crypto not having the best day. There's reasons. There were some fines. There were some fines launched against, well, a BC exchange for not flagging. There was obvious money. I was going to say Monday, Monday laundering. There we go. Nobody launders on Monday, unless, well, maybe if you work at a laundromat. Um, there was money laundering that they didn't flag that was being done through crypto, and they got a hit with a pretty hefty, more than $200 million. So, oh boy, that's pretty big. Okay, let's take a look at this heat map. This is our Canada, the TSX heat map. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's actually a fair amount of green, a lot of flat stuff. Like, look at the banks. You got everything from like TD up 0.3 to Royal Bank over here down 0.1. Well, Scotiabank is down a whole half a percent, 0.53. So Fairfax Financial, though, they're doing okay, 2.47. There's nothing really magnificent on the Canadian market today. Like, no, I don't think there's any real high achievers. And there's really nobody who's really super underperforming either. It's kind of if the market is boring, this is probably the picture we would be looking at. So nothing exciting on the market. The U.S. market, a different story. Look at the red. Look at the red. Tech not having a good day. Nvidia down. Apple down. Broadcom, Amazon, Oracle, Tesla. Yeah, it's also not a good day for backhoes because Caterpillar is down. What can I say? What can I say? Down 1.78%. Eli Lilly's up. If there's any positive, I guess. For the most part, yeah, a lot of red. Oh, look at this. Look at this one. Netflix off a cliff today. Down 10.05%. I'm wondering, did they have an earnings today? That looks like that's a lot. You know what? Let's take a sharper look. Let's take a sharper look at Netflix here. NETFLIX. Here we go. Netflix. We'll go in for a closer look, and we're going to see what's going on here. There it is. There it is. Look at this, earnings. So they missed by, oh boy, 15.68% on earnings. Yeah, that's quite the miss. Sure, they're okay on revenue, but yeah, look at this. And you can see the gap. Look at the gap. That's a big gap. So yeah, Netflix, bad earnings. Oh boy. I hope none of you guys are holding Netflix. Because they did not have a good day. Not at all. Okay. Looking over on crypto, whew, that's a lot of red. We got everybody in the red. Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRPs. Solana's down 7.34%. Now, we got that whole money laundering thing that's going on with the BC crypto firm. Trying to think what their name is. Crypto something like that. Anyway, they that's probably stoked a little bit of fear. Anytime there's any kind of thing that sort of gives into the stereotype of crypto being this this tool for the criminals. Well, I hate to break it to you guys. Well, not so much to you guys. You guys are smart, but I hate to break it to everybody else. You know what the number one currency that criminals operate in? Yeah, it's the dollar bill, particularly the U.S. dollar. So, it just goes to show. So I think crypto will calm a little bit, hopefully towards the end of the week. Probably will have a pretty good weekend. So, as you guys know, there are more than 15,000 altcoins out there, and I like to just pick one I've never heard of before, and maybe I make fun of it. Oh, I don't know. We're gonna grab a green one. Since the market today is in the dumps, let's find some little one that seems to be doing something. It's Anxiety? Is that what we would call this? Anxiety? I don't know. I don't know. And I just glanced at the clock because we got 5 minutes to the bell. I don't want to miss the bell. Um, Whatever they are, they're a new coin. They're worth about 0.3 of a cent. No, no even clue what this is. I'm gonna think. I don't know. For some reason, I'm thinking it has something to do with some kind of an online community, maybe. I don't know. Um, you could certainly go and buy this right now if you want to, lose your money, because that's what you probably will do. I do tend to call these guys crap coins, not because they're like poop. Some people do refer to them in that manner. I call them crap coins because they're like going to the casino and playing craps. You're usually not gonna win. The house, the odds are stacked against you. They usually are with a lot of these coins. You've got rug pulls. You've got coins that just pop up out of nowhere and they disappear just as fast. So just be careful with these. If you want to make money investing in crypto, stick to your tried and true coins. Stick to and I know they're in the red, your Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, and heck, even the Dogecoin. Even the Dogecoin is a better moneymaker than a lot of these altcoins. So, all right, now let's go back to big and let's hit the chat. We got about 3 minutes to the bell. Brian was in the door first with a good afternoon, everyone. That means Brian's got the best seat in the house. Unless he's one of these people who doesn't like the best seat in the house and picks something towards the back. But what can I say? Claude in next. Hello. Got time to grab a coffee before the stream? I'm always jealous of yours. There's my epic coffee, folks. My epic coffee. There we go. Let's see. Patrick says, would love your opinion. .tia. I'm not familiar with TIA. Is that a stock? Let me know what that is, Patrick. Maybe tell me the company name, because I will tell you, I saw this just before the stream started. I threw it quickly into my TSM, and it didn't come up with anything. So I'm not sure if TIA is a stock, but let me know. I'll certainly be more than happy to give you my opinion. All right, we got 2 minutes to the bell. Stan's in the house with a hello all. We got Sammer saying hello. We've got the fabulous Kiev and Cass saying good afternoon, gang. Sammer is like. Yeah, guys, hit the like button for sure. Kiev and Cass, HMM.A up finally. Yes, Hammond Manufacturing. I love this company. Actually, I didn't see if that they were, I didn't look at them today. So we've got 1 minute and 20 seconds. That's enough time to pull up HMM.A. That's absolutely enough time. Here we go. Oh, look at that. They're up 2.63% today. Yeah, they're looking good. They're looking good. Like, this is the thing. This here kind of freaked people out. But since then, they've been doing fine again. And this is a company, I have a lot of faith. I have a lot of confidence in them. So they're still one of my favorites. Once JJ gets his interview out, he actually asked me for my favorite ETF, my favorite stock. I named 2 stocks as my favorite stocks. And well, obviously this must be one of them. And you guys can probably guess the other, at least those who've been around for a while. All right, guys, 29 seconds to the bell. If you've got earbuds on and you don't like loud noise, you might want to pull them out just for about 10 seconds here. In a bit. We got about 17 seconds before that sound is going to come up. But I'm trying to be more diligent. I want to hit the bell on time. Now, mind you, my on time will be about 15 seconds late to you guys because of the way YouTube works. Okay, here we go. Woo, there we go. The market's closed. No more trading. Put down your mice. Oh boy. All right, let's get back to the questions here. Oh, we'll get back to Big Me. Scratch says, hello, Candace. Hope you are doing great. OBE is at a good place. Let's see. OBE is at a good place to cost average in. Well, let's take a look. Let's take a good old look here. All right. So OBE is Obsidian Energy. And here we go. Let's see here. All right. So yeah, and I think we were looking. I seem to recall we were looking at this last week or so. Yeah, and we have this nice little drop. So here's kind of this thing with, like, I think $8 is kind of the fair price right now. Like that to me, that's where if I was drawing a big line of support, I would be putting that in there. So $8 is probably where it's gonna turn around and bounce a bit. And it looks, let's go to this, let's go to 1 month here. It looks like maybe we've already got a bit of a bounce. So yeah, I would say if you're gonna do some dollar cost averaging on OBE, I think we're in a good spot. Absolutely. All right. And we got Lisa in the house. Kiev and Kaz bought gold on Wealthsimple today. Nice, nice. So Wealthsimple, of course, is now starting to allow you to buy commodities. So that is that's pretty good. Now I will say I received something. It went into my spam, but I like to look in my spam just to see what's in there. And there seems to be a spam that's going around with someone impersonating Wealthsimple, claiming that they have a brand new desktop app. If you see that, folks, I don't think they do. So I would not click on it. I would definitely, and here's the thing, guys, if you receive something like that in your email, you know, whether it be Wealthsimple or somebody else that you look at, here's what I will always do. I'm never going to click on it. Never going to click on it. I'm going to go to Wealthsimple, and if they had a new desktop app, it's going to be on their, it's going to be, you're going to find it very quickly going to Wealthsimple. So I'd be very, very cautious, because the last thing I'd want to see is one of you guys saying, oh, thank God, a desktop app, and you log into it and you give them your all of your credentials for Wealthsimple. Yeah, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. Defense market takes quite a hit again. Why? Why does the market have to take quite a hit? For the most part, we're getting a little bit of, you know, there's a little bit of nervousness going on, just general anxiety. Now there is some positive stuff going along as well. At least from Canada side, the biggest reason the TSX took a lot of red this week has been the sell-off on gold. So gold has been undergoing a little bit of a correction, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. I mean, gold is gold. It will be coming back, no questions asked. So it will be fine. Gold will be fine. And gold, of course, as it recovers, it'll help. It'll definitely help with that, with the TSX. And the TSX, like I said today, TSX is in the green. We've got a green light behind me on the wall. So I think the market's going to be fine. Now, there are other positive things as well. I believe Carney hinted that there might be some sectorial deals coming towards the end of the month. That would be great. If we can get some breaks on some of the tariffs, that would be fantastic. But there's also some other concerns too. There is a budget coming up. So there's a budget coming up that will be on, November 4th. And, you know, I try not to go too deep into politics, but we'll cross the line a little bit on this one. One of the big concerns, and I've seen it in a couple of the papers, is like, you know, are we going to get a vote of non-confidence on this budget? And I know that the papers like to make it seem like it's a real possibility, because that will get you guys to come in. That'll get you guys to come in. The reality is, look at the NDP. That's all you got to look at. They will prop up the government for one reason alone. They don't have a leader. They're not ready for an election. There's no way. There's no way they would. It would be probably one of the worst things that could happen to the party is an election at this point. So the Liberals will be fine. Even if everybody else were to vote against them, the NDP have just enough members to keep them in power. So it's not happening. It's not happening. And I know there's probably a few of you that are like, oh, but hopefully, it's not happening. All right. We got Mary in the house with a hello. And guys, Mary is our official captain of the like button. So if you have not hit that like button yet, now's the time. I'm going to have some coffee while you guys are busy turning a thumb into a blue thumb. Gosh, that is so good. So good. All right. And let me just take a look here. We got a couple things happening. All right. So yesterday is in the house and has become a channel member. Fantastic. Welcome to the channel. By the way, guys, we have a channel member live tomorrow. Tomorrow night, Thursday night, 7 o'clock. If you are a channel member already, or if you're about to become one, there is on the community tab, I put a little thing about what do you guys want me to cover. So definitely drop anything you want me to, to cover, because I like to prepare a little something to bring. I also like to do it because it's funny, I'm thinking a year ahead, because a year from now, this channel member video, I release it for everybody to watch. So it's nice to have a good evergreen topic in there. So that way it's still relevant in a year when everybody else, when the non-channel members get a chance to check out to see what goes on behind the scenes. But yeah, so that's tomorrow night, 7 p.m. If you got your ideas, drop them down. So yeah, so yesterday has joined. And you know what? Becoming a channel member is worthy of GOAT status. So here we go. GOAT status for yesterday. And we also, of course, have that deal for, it can be channel memberships, it can be supers. So that counts towards a Friday show. So that's one of three, but we don't stop there, because yesterday came in and gifted a channel membership. That is number 2. Once again, that's a GOAT status move. That is a GOAT status move. And Kingston Crypto. So yeah, I have to look at another monitor to see who won, but Kingston Crypto YGK. All right, cool. Well, welcome aboard, Crypto Kingston YGK. I don't think I've ever heard your name before, but you're now a channel member for a month, so that's compliments of yesterday. And that is 2. So 2 more of either channel memberships, supers, and that will give us a Friday show. Now, I'm going to point out one quick little thing here. Next week, we won't have the option for a Friday show, because Friday, well, it's Halloween. I gotta be ready for the trick-or-treaters. So we won't be able to do a show, a Friday market close next week, because of I guess do we call it a holiday? I'm not sure if we would call it a holiday, but for Halloween. Let's see. TIA is thank you in advance. All right, let's take a look here. Let's try this one more time. I don't know why it didn't work last time. Let's see. TIA. All right, well, you know what? Let's go over to Yahoo Finance and see if there's TIA. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not even getting it over here on. I'm not getting it at all. So I don't know what TIA is. If you guys could just tell me what it is, like tell me the company name. Maybe if I every so often there's a company that for whatever reason the ticker won't pull up. I have to actually search on the company name to get it. But yeah. All right, we will switch over here to Brian. Let's see, Wealthsimple's extended trading works on U.S. stocks. Put a limit order on WPay at 52.20, as that was all my dividends. Closed at 53.95. 12:07 a.m. the order came through. Not too shabby. That's not too bad. Um, all right, you meant 53.20. Yeah. I mean, yeah. If you're investing in U.S. stocks, having those extended hours, that's kind of a cool thing, especially. And this is a great way. I mean, what Brian did using a limit order, it's a great way to get your stocks a little bit cheaper. If you're, a lot of times I will look, and if it's kind of a volatile stock, a lot of times I will look at where it's at. Where is it at on that candle? Is it up towards the top? Well, then it's probably going to drop down before, before I know it. So why not put a limit order in and get it, get it a little tiny bit cheaper? You can do it for sure. Candace, did you watch the Wealthsimple live stream? Norbert's coming to the platform. I did not. Oh my God. So Norbert's Gambit coming to Wealthsimple. That's very cool. That's kind of a game changer. I know there's a lot of people who the only reason they're not on Wealthsimple is because they want to be able to do the Norbert's Gambit. And you can do that on Questrade. You can do it on National Bank. And I believe somebody told me that you could do it on Royal Bank, but I'm not 100% on the Royal Bank, but I think you can. Amrit said, I grabbed some GLCC, saw that it had retraced. I'm thinking due to people selling off for profits and possible to cover calls did not land. Well, yeah, no, in this case here, it was, there was a lot of profit taking for gold overall. And of course, that's the underlying. Well, when you look at GLCC, they're holding, gold pretty much is a direct, a direct correlation with the price. Now, I think GLCC is holding, I believe it's gold producers, so miners, but that will, of course, impact all of them for sure. All right. Defense. Yeah, same. When I receive a mail, saying something on my account, I close every browser. Then I enter the address of the company directly to watch if it's true. Yeah, absolutely. See, this is the way to go, guys. We're in a world where you can't trust your email. You absolutely can't. You can't trust anything nowadays. So if you get any kind of email with a link in it, no matter how legit it seems, fine. Go to the website of whoever's sending it, especially if it's an offer. You should be able to get it there. You just want to be really, really, really careful. In fact, I'll tell you, one of the things, like if you hear of YouTubers getting hacked all the time. Well, how they get hacked, and I'll tell you how, is fake sponsorship stuff. So they'll get an email from somebody that sounds like a legit company, and they're like, we want to sponsor your channel. They usually have a pretty good deal, and you might even get talking, and it seems pretty legit. And then they'll send you a package, and it's usually a zipped file or something, and you open that, and oh boy, they now got control of your YouTube channel. And guess what's going to be happening on your YouTube channel? Oh, there's going to be a video of somebody offering some kind of a crypto deal, give us 1 Bitcoin, we'll give you 2, that type of thing. Yeah, your whole account will turn into a spam account. And then you've got to fight to get your channel back. So, yeah, you got to be very, very careful. Yeah, quite literally. And I'll tell you, if I ever get a sponsorship that sends me anything like that, and even if I still think it's legit, one of the things I would probably do is open that email on a separate computer, one that does not have any access to any of my passwords, any of my logins. I would not open it on my main computer. No way, shape, or form. Amrit, EQ Bank, it's the lowest I have seen, 87.82. Yeah, EQ Bank. Oh, and I've been talking about this. They've suffered. They've been, I don't know. I mean, I like the company. I like the stock. But I'll tell you, it's it's interesting. I don't know. Ian, bank jumped the yield from 10 to 11 cents a month last November. Think it will happen again? It's a good question. I don't know. I don't know. However, there's some breaking news for you guys. I am probably going to be bringing an interview onto the channel. I'm going to interview the CEO of Evolve. I'm gonna get Raj. That's his name. I'm gonna get Raj, and we're gonna talk. We definitely will be talking about Bank and Biggie and Canny and a whole bunch of what's going on over there at Evolve. But I don't have any kind of a time frame on that. I've just got the opening conversation. I've only created the opening conversation on it, but I'm pretty sure that it's gonna happen. Morelli is in the house with a hello. Good to see you. Anna says, Wealth Simple continues to surprise us. It's one of the reasons that I've liked Wealth Simple. Wealth Simple, it's one of the advantages of being a smaller company. And they're pretty big, but compared to the big banks, they're small. But with that comes a lot of agility. They have the ability to make changes faster than the big six can. And when it comes to their products, their services, they have come, like if you guys remember Wealth Simple from even 3 years ago, towards the beginning of the pandemic, it's almost like a completely different company today because they have made so many positive moves in the right direction, and that's what they keep doing. So if any of you have not yet tried Wealth Simple, by the way, there is a link below in the comment section or the extra info, whatever we call it. There's a link down there. Go check it out. If you use that link, you will get $25 once you sign up, and I think you got to fund your account. I'm not sure how that works, but they also send $25 to the channel, so that's a win-win. Anytime there's free money, I like it. I like it for sure. Defenses, by the way, I saw your video on covered calls. I think I'm going to try some there, like Bank and HBTE. Any hints on USA ones? So yeah, I have had a lot of comments. I've been getting a lot of comments. They're like, you got to do a US one. You got to do a US one. So I've committed to do a US one before the end of the year. But right now, I'm not going to throw any hints out yet because honestly, I don't know what they're going to be. I've got a lot of research to do. I've got some general ideas, but I want to do a lot more research because I don't want to just pick. I want to pick smartly. So definitely got more research for me to do before I can do that. And I'm not going to get, like I said, no hints yet, but it's coming. Morale bought some HHIS today at the dips. Nice. Bleak says, hey all. Ian says, am I still a member? No. And you know how I can tell? Your name is not color. So when you are I'm looking over here. When you're a channel member, your name in chat as well is green. Everybody else is like either black or gray or something like that. So yeah. So no, you're no longer a member, Ian. You're no longer a member. You know, maybe somebody will throw a bunch of gifts out. I don't know. Larry says, dancing on the oil jump from 56 to 59.8. His a 2X ETF and my calls are up $1. I'm not surprised that you played that, Larry. Well done. Well done for sure. Let's see. He means TIE means thank you in advance. Oh, that's what, okay. There we go. There we go. Yeah, you see, if you throw an abbreviation at me, I'm gonna think it's a stock ticker. That's where my mind goes first. But all right, I hear you. That's funny. That is funny. All right. Hugh Gamilu says, I'm down 30% with MSTE. I'm about to pull the plug on it. Damn, Adriano. Oh, no. Oh, I. It's one of those things. Like, I like strategy. I like what they do. But it is quite the volatility for sure. Um, yeah, and right now, with crypto kind of on the ropes here, at least this week, it's certainly not making it any easier on you with MSTE. It's one of those ones like I want exposure to them, but I don't want direct exposure. So, for example, it's one of the reasons I love something like HHIS. So, and HHIS, because they hold, well, they hold all of those single income share ones. Um, they've got MSTE, but they've got all the others too. So if one of them is struggling, then you could still be up. You could still be up because the others can pick up the slack for sure. But yeah, I feel you on the MSTE. I mean, I do believe it will come up, but that's a painful wait. It might be a painful wait for sure. Um, it's tough sometimes. It can be tough to take a loss. It can be really, really tough. Um, I know in your situation, I probably would wait it out, but you have to decide for yourself for sure what it is that you want to do. Roku. Norbert himself was on the Wealthsimple stage explaining it. Oh, well, I'm gonna have to check out the recording of that because I'm sure there's a recording. That sounds pretty darn cool. I miss the coolest things, don't I? See, I was like the only thing I really watched. I watched the Open AI thing yesterday. They're now coming out with what is it? It's called Atlas. It's their new search engine, and it uses Chat GPT to do it. And that looked kind of cool, but I think I would rather have seen Norbert. Um, Ian says, I'm not a fan of MSTE. The extreme cover call ETFs give bank and HYLD a bad name. Yeah, and this is the thing. I mean, when you're looking at covered calls in general, you guys know that I have one rule for covered calls. In a bull market, they got to be their price needs to be increasing. Like, yeah, of course, in a bear market, yeah, of course, the share price is going to fall because the underlying price is going to fall. But in a bull market, if that underlying price, if they're not increasing in value, I'm not. I'm probably not going to touch them. There need to be some really good circumstances for me to touch them for sure. Kiev guess. Wealthsimple rolled out a lot of stuff today. Yeah, seeing who Norbert is was cool. I'm somebody, earlier in the stream, it was mentioned that you guys might be jealous of my coffee, but now I'm jealous that you guys got to see this. I'm gonna have my coffee now. Mm. Rory, hi all. Hot got spanked today. Yeah, I can believe it. I think most things associated with crypto definitely fell. Like I don't know how much HBTE fell, but I expect to see some movement to the downside on that as well. Oh hi. Amrit, I wish Wealthsimple would let us use stop loss. It just has a setting where it hits the number you set and then they take a while before it sells, or if you set a limit order, then may not sell at target. Um, yeah, I think if I remember correctly, I think Wealthsimple does have a suggestion, sort of a place where you can send suggestions. Quite literally, guys. If it does, we should all just send in a suggestion for stop loss. Oh, trailing stop loss. That's what I want. I want a trailing stop loss. I'll have to look into. I'm gonna look. I'll look at Wealthsimple earlier and see if there's a suggestion area or a place I can just send some suggestions to. Let's see. Amrit, looking to sell EQ Bank when I hope it turns around above 100 again. I'm thinking that will not be until after the new year. Yeah, probably for sure. Yeah, it's one of these things. it's one of these things I don't. Uh, I keep. I'm very like I've been bullish on EQ Bank, but right now the overall financial sector is doing well, and they're doing the opposite, and that always to me that worries me. When a stock starts moving in the opposite direction of the sector, that to me that's an alarm bell. That is an alarm bell. So there's an I've got a I'll call it I won't call it a red alert. I'll call it I got a yellow alert right now with EQ Bank, and that's kind of funny because that's kind of their color. But I'm a little concerned. I'm a little concerned. Defense. Do you receive a good amount of dividends with your placements, or is it all in growth? A little bit of both. Because yeah, I mean, technically, I'm much more of a hybrid, so I do have some good amount of growth, and I also got a half decent amount of dividends. But yeah, I'd say it's a bit of both. It's a bit of both. Politicians, do you think gold plus silver have peaked? I do not. I do not think they have. We are having a correction, so yeah, it's coming down a little bit, but once it turns around, it will come back up. And once we get the next really big move, let's just call it silly move by Mr. Trump to the south, there's probably a good chance we could see more movement, more money going back into it. But I did mention to you guys, even before the whole Paul 9-week story, that gold will retrace somewhat when the rest of the market looks good, because that's kind of one of the things that people are doing right now. Is every time everybody starts to worry about the market, they start moving money into gold, and when the market looks good, they start taking that money out and putting it back into equities. So it's going to be interesting. But I think gold, yeah, I still think gold is fine. Like I'm not even concerned. I would not sell any of my gold holdings. I'm gonna let things just develop. Ian says, now that I'm retired, I might be here enough to win my membership back. Hashtag goals. Well, there you go. There you go. There's the Nightbot. So yeah, we are 2 of 4 away from a Friday show, guys. Rory says, imagine putting in 200K on MSTE. Yeah, I would not put that much on strategy. Not something that volatile. Not unless, and this is the trader side of me. If I was looking to make a short-term swing and I could see clearly technical analysis was showing me they were towards the bottom of one of their normal movements, maybe, but yeah. KT says, Adriano is not responsible for the choices you make. Yeah, absolutely. When you're like, it doesn't matter who, Adriano, me, Joe Blow down the road, whoever you're listening to or watching on YouTube, you still always have to do your due diligence. Your mama probably once said to you, if your friend jumps off a bridge, are you going to jump off too? Of course not. Well, unless you're bungee jumping, that's a different story altogether. But yeah, you always want to do your due diligence. You never want to do what, like I love Hammond. I love HMM.A, stock-wise. One of my favorites. Does that mean that you all have to go out and invest in HMM.A? Absolutely not. You can look at it and say, Candace, I think you're wrong on this one. And that's perfectly fine. I'm okay with that because, I'm not perfect. Adriano's not perfect. We're all going to make mistakes. So you don't want to you want to make your own mistakes. You don't want to make somebody else's mistakes. And that's the thing. I mean, I'll show you a lot. I show you a lot. Like I show you guys a lot of ETFs. I show you a lot of stocks. Has every single stock I've shown you gone to the moon? Absolutely not. Heck, sometimes I'll even show you stocks and I'll tell you, I'm not feeling good about this one. Because I'm not going to just show you the ones that I think are going to go, all the way up. I like to show you a sort of a mix across the board, a mix across the board. Let's look at the good, let's look at the bad, let's look at the ugly, let's look at the fantastic. Let's just, let's pull them all in together. But in the end of the day, the money that you're investing, you worked hard for it. So I will tell you right now, don't listen to any YouTubers. Like, you can listen to them, you can get ideas. They can even get you on the road to doing your due diligence. But when it comes time to actually buy, you want to make sure that you're buying not because I said it's a good stock, but because you believe from your research that it's a good stock. So it's always good to keep that in mind for sure. All right. And Scratch says, thanks for explaining the TIA concept, because I would not have got it either. I really wanted to know more about this stock. I know. The live stream is on Wealthsimple YouTube channel. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Let's see. Wealthsimple also rolled out an AI chat search. Well, that's interesting. Very interesting. I definitely have to watch this stream now. Emrit, I'm just averaging down MSTE and just taking in those dividends as drip, which helps move the average down as well. I'm hoping it will climb up, possibly might not go up for a while. I'm at 1228 average. Yeah, like I said, I mean, I think MSTE will come back up, but you got to keep in mind a lot of the strategy that Michael Saylor uses over there at Strategy, sometimes it does deflate the price a little bit. That's kind of part of the whole thing. But the bet that he's been playing is on Bitcoin going higher and higher. And Bitcoin will go higher and higher. So this is the type of thing, like with this one, if you have patience, you will get in the green. But, you have to, I don't want to say, I hate to use the word diamond hands on this one, because it seems like, it seems too powerful, but you have to, I guess you have to do your own due diligence to make sure that you're comfortable with that for sure. I still, like I said, I hate to see people take losses, but sometimes if it's, if you're taking a loss for peace of mind, who's to say that that's the wrong thing to do? I'm not the one to say that for sure. Reverend Ramirez, let's see. They say the first 100K investment is hard, but after that, it's easier to compound and scale up. But I feel like I'm stuck here, plateaued. What gives? Yeah, the first 100,000, it is hard. But let's just be clear about this. Once you've got 100,000, yes, I mean, you can compound a little higher. I mean, obviously, the more money you make, the more compounding you can do, and it goes faster and faster. But here's the thing. There's so many different factors in there. Like, I know it's a bit of a cliche that, like if you've got 100,000, it's nothing to get to 200,000. Well, it's not nothing. It's still quite a bit more difficult. Where you can, if you're a trader now, then when you've got, you got a couple $100,000 or $100,000 to trade, if you're good at it, you can start making more significant money, because you can make bigger trades to the point where you can bet, if you put a lot of money into something, it doesn't even need to go up that much for you to get a pretty good return on it. So there's that as well. But when it comes to straight up investing, yeah, 100,000, it's kind of a milestone, but I don't think it's like a magic. You called it a plateau. Yeah, it could be a bit of a plateau, but I don't think it's a magic point. Like, if at 99,000, it's hard to make money. And then at 101, it's easy. No, it's not. It's not that simple. It's not that simple. Think of it as a road post on the way. You're still in the same car. You're still driving. You still got more miles to go. It gives you more options. And if you're a long-term investor, the more you have, the more in that compounding engine, all of that fun stuff. All right, Claude says HBTE dropped 8% today, but I'm still bullish on this product. This income with the capital gain potential is crazy. Yeah, it's going to be, it's going to be a while. That's the thing. It's you know, however long, and I don't know. Like I think crypto will do well on the weekend. We could have a good week next week. I still think that we're not on the way into crypto winter. I still think we have one more top left. Personally, I think that. Now, I could be wrong. That is absolutely a possibility, but I don't think I am. And Bill saying plateau for how long? September and October aren't usually bullish months. That's true. That is true. Ian says that's Norbit's Gambit is good for me. I have some SPYI in my RRSP. How much dividends does MSTE give back a share? Rory says 55 cents. So nuts there. Jersky, hello. Looks like a good buying opportunity. And guys, we got a super coming in from Kiev and Kaz. So that makes Danny the goat. Here we go. We got another goat in the house. Yesterday and Danny both got goat status in this stream. So we're one away from a Friday show. Thank you very much, Kevin Kaz. I always appreciate. All right, let's see here. And Emrit says, well, if MSTE keeps dropping, will there be a dividend cut? All right, so the dividend on this, it's based on, most of it is based on the premium that they're able to get for the options. And that is based on volatility. So as long as strategy remains very volatile, they can support the larger dividend. So that's, and keep in mind, that's where, well, yeah, because I don't think strategy has a dividend, if I remember correctly, unless if they do, it's a micro dividend, but it's all coming from that premium. So as long as they're volatile. So when you're looking at a covered call fund, it's the volatility that will cause a, if the volatility steps back and it becomes less volatile, then they can't give as big of a dividend. So in that sense, if MicroStrategy if strategy, I keep wanting to still call them MicroStrategy, but if strategy got to a point where they got a lot less volatile and they were just kind of moving on up, that could be a bad thing. That could be a bad thing for that dividend because then they would have to cut. Even though the stock's moving on up, they could have to cut because it no longer has the volatility to demand high premiums. All right. Defense says, so it would pay MicroStrategy $10,000 per month for $200,000. That's not too shabby. Dividend cut, reverse split lower and lower share price, another reverse split. All right, let's see. If I knew strategy was going to be around and stabilized for the next 20 years, I'd be retired. All right. Michelle says, do you know anything about CCHQ? I do not, but let's pull it up. Let's pull it up and take a look here. All right, we'll go back here. CCHQ. Let's take a look here. All right. No, that's CCHH. CCHQ. All right, let's head over to Yahoo then. We'll go back to Yahoo. CCHQ. Apparently Yahoo doesn't know anything about it either. So I'm not sure what that is. If you want to tell me the actual name, because for whatever reason it's not coming up in either TMX or Yahoo Finance. So yeah, I'm not sure what that is. Unless it's brand new, it could definitely be brand new. All right, now I'm going to quickly just jump ahead here for a second because we got another super coming in here from Defense. See you Friday. See you Friday, and that's one more goat in the pen. One more goat, greatest of all time, in the pen. Thank you, Defense. Thank you kindly. So yeah, we will have a market close on a Friday. It's as easy as that. All right. There we go. Now, let's get to our next comment here. And we'll go back big screen. Brian says, a few of the high-yield US ETFs, there is talk of reverse splits, ULTY being one of them. Yeah. It's going to be interesting. Like, I as much as I would like to love Yield Max, I don't. I just don't. And I've heard a lot. ULTY has been. It almost feels for a while. It felt like a meme ETF, only because everybody and their dog, especially amongst U.S. finance, were promoting it like crazy. So sometimes when everybody promotes something a lot, sometimes I get a little bit worried, and I guess I guess I'm guilty of that too, because I know a lot of us in Canada promote HYLD a lot. Larry says, in my opinion, 30K with margin makes the game easy. 2 or 3 trades, you get 100K. There we go. Now Larry's very good at this game now, and Larry has to be because he's managing other people's money. So that's a big thing. What's a reverse split? I have 150 shares of ULTY. So if you're familiar with a stock split, so like you've heard of a 2-to-1. So with a 2-to-1 stock split, basically, if you held 10 shares after the stock split, you would have, well, 20 shares. They'd all be half the price, though. If you did a reverse 2-to-1 stock split and you held 10 shares, well, all of a sudden you would be holding 5 shares, but they would be worth twice as much. So why would a company want to do a reverse stock split? One of the reasons, at least with regular companies, we're not talking ETFs per se, a lot of companies will do a stock split, or a reverse stock split, because they need to maintain their value at a certain level to perhaps to stay on an exchange. A good example of that was Hut 8, actually. How long ago was this? Maybe 2 years? Maybe 1.5 to 2 years ago. They did one because they needed to get their price up higher so that they could stay on an exchange. So it does happen. It does happen from time to time. Defense, it pays me around $20 per week. Let's see. Reverse splits, you get 1 share for X number you have. There we go. Let's see. No numbers talked about yet. Could be 1 for 10 or 1 for 5. No one knows. Rumor mill is going full tilt on some of these ETFs. Yeah. And this is the thing. Speculation is speculation until they actually announce it. I personally wouldn't be. I wouldn't be doing anything or taking or counting my chickens before they hatch, for sure. There's Paul. There's Paul. He is here. All right. My journaling of DLR.U at 1019 a share to DLR at 1429. Nice. And of course, journaling, that's part of the Norbit's Gambit. Ian says, there's a guy on YouTube named Dividend Daddy. He was big into ULTY. Before that, he was into NFTs. Before that, metaverse real estate. I follow him for the LOLs. Yeah, and this is kind of that thing. Like, look at this. NFTs, metaverse real estate, and then into ULTY. It's like that alone almost scares me about ULTY. I will tell you that right now. Brian says, ULTY and MSTY, I only put in just over $100 in each, not enough to break the bank, but just to watch it. Yeah, and that's fine. I mean, that's fine. And, I always say, just be careful what you're doing. Like, if something is a little more riskier than normal, you don't want to go all in. It's never the best option. Let's see. Paul says, is finished now. Wait 2 to 3 days to go to the bank. Nice. All right. Reverend Ramirez. This fall weather is making me crave a warm slice of carrot bread with a cream cheese icing and a hot cup of Joe. Where did that saying come from even? Who is Joe? That's a good question. I do not know where that... Somehow, for some reason, it feels British. It does kind of feel British, but why would they call it Joe? Yeah, I'm not sure. Your video was really pixelated. Oh, well, that's different. That's odd. Oh, there must be something with the connection. Yeah, sometimes that can happen, I guess. But yeah, And here's a funny thing. I'm looking at my test monitor. I have another monitor as well that shows the YouTube feed, and it looks fine on that. So I don't know. I don't know. Oh well. Um, let's see. Yes, pixelated for me and clear for Amrit. All right. Ian says, I am craving banana bread. Well, who doesn't crave banana bread? Absolutely. Let's see, it's back to normal now. Okay. Our Cup of Joe sounds Australian. Okay. Okay, now video. Okay. Yeah, there must have been something. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, clear for me too, but was pixelate. Okay. Yeah, maybe, maybe there was a storm. I don't know, like a cosmic storm just quickly zip. Honestly, I don't know, but I didn't notice it, and I think by the time you guys told me, it probably was too late to see it. Oh boy. But at least everything looks pretty good now. All right, guys, we're getting deep in here. But if you got your last minute questions, let's get them done. Doesn't mean we're leaving right away, but hit me up with those questions. I have been noticing, but Fortis for me has been booming. Yeah, Fortis. I love Fortis. Fortis was actually the first stock I ever bought. And let's just head over here for a second. Now, they are also a utility. So, as a utility company, one of the things they love is rate cuts. And we've had some rate cuts. Oh, oh, guys. All right, just give me a second. Give me a second. Yeah, look at this. That's a nice little movement there. But if we look at Fortis for the last year, they've been responding well. They've been responding well. All right. I'm going to pull up Claude and I'm going to go big screen. I was going to do something today and I totally forgot. Let's do it now. Let's try to do it now. All right, let's see here. Dear banana bread. All right, let's do that. There we go. There we go. All right, I'm trying to get it blue. Seriously. I was trying to get it blue for the Jays. I was like, because I will tell you guys, I was, what the heck? Sometimes my remote works really well, and days like today, it's not doing it justice. Wait a minute here. All right, now let's come in here. There we go. That's what I was looking for. All right. Well, we'll stick to this color for the remainder of this stream. For the Jays, holy cow. So I don't normally watch baseball. But it was game 7, pennant. I was hoping beyond hope that the Jays could pull it off, and I decided to watch it. So I watched it, and I'll tell you, I was kind of regretting it for a while until that 7th inning. And when the Jays, I think it was a 3-run homer, putting them into the lead, holy banana bread. I have never heard an arena erupt that hard. It was craziness. And in addition to that, outside somewhere, somebody set off fireworks. So obviously some people in Ottawa were very happy about this win. But what a game. What a game. And yeah, they're going to the World Series. So you know what, guys? Let's win the World Series. And that might annoy Trump. So there's a side effect. But obviously, it's just I'd love to see a championship in Canada. Let's do it. I'm trying to think. I think the last professional sports championship in Canada was probably, I think it was the Raptors. I think when the Raptors won and I don't know what they call the NBA one. Somebody let me know, what is the name of the NBA? Do they have a special cup name or something? But I don't know. But I know that I think the Raptors were the last one. Defense. Are you confident HHIS will rebound? Yeah. I mean, yes. I mean, here's the thing. Let's put it into a kind of, let's go with worst case scenario first. So worst case scenario, if all of a sudden tech were to absolutely crash, HHIS is going down with it. It's going down with it because tech is the underlying assets. Now, mind you, they still might be good on premiums on the way down. So your dividend is more than likely safe. Worst case, you could see a small cut, but you're not going to see a big cut. So that's worst case scenario. And if we take that a little further, tech's not going to be down forever. Tech always comes back. Tech is huge. It's part of the biggest component of our, sorry, I can feel a sneeze coming on. All right. Okay, good. It seems to be gone. It seems to have backed off. I don't think I've ever sneezed on stream yet to date. I should knock on wood here. Yeah, so HHIS, it will come back. And if anything, even if, let's say, we had a 1-year bear market on tech and HHIS is down for a year, if anything, that's time to just add to it. I have no fear in HHIS, disappearing or anything like that. I think it's a good ETF. So, yeah, I like HHIS. Paul. Oh, here we go. Paul's done the research. Cup of Joe equals cup of coffee. First recorded in 1930 U.S. slang. Most credible origin shortening of Jamocha. Java plus mocha. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. Our less likely origin, Navy Secretary Joseph Daniels' ban on alcohol. Bandwagon fun. All right. Oh, guys, we're already there, but we got Larry coming in with a super sticker, haberdashery. Haberdashery. Now, I've only got 4 goats, so you know what? All right, we'll give this one. Larry's a goat, but he's being protected by our honorary beaver guardsman. There we go. Now I'm totally out. Now I'm going to have to recycle. If you guys continue, I will have to recycle. No ands, ifs, or buts about it. All right. Brian, Game 7 was a nail biter. I thought they would be done when the bullpen came in. I was worried, but they've been really well known this season for comebacks, and what can I say? A team that was down 3-2 comes back, gets into the 7th. They're down, and then in the 7th they turn it around. Yeah, that's fantastic. Let's see. Brian says I'm still up on HHIS. Paul says ChatGPT source for above. Awesome. Google says the Raptors in 2019. Yeah, exactly. That was the last one. I still, like I said, I don't know the name of the cup that they have for basketball, or is it just a ring? Do you just win? I don't know. Paul says the cover call ETFs treat as income, and when down, reinvest some. Yeah, for the most part. And here's the beautiful thing, guys. When we do go into a bear market, so when things start to, when things turn around and go in the opposite direction, I'm still here, and we will cover. It's funny. And this is not all, but one of the things I noticed in the last bear market is a lot of financial YouTubers started cutting their content back. And they, their videos became a lot more sparse, except for one. That's me. I kept coming. Even if I brought up a list of videos that were all in the hole, I'm like, you know what? Let's still do it. There's still investors out there during the bear market, and the bear market's when you can make the money. So, if anything, bear market's a good time to be doing what I'm doing, as well as the bull market. I mean, all of the market is good for sure. Defense, how to stay up on HHIS when it's down, buying when it's down, but if I'm DCA, is it bad then? Should I wait? It's red to buy. Well, with dollar cost averaging, right? The thing is, it's supposed to take the whole decision out of your hands. So sometimes you're buying when it's red, sometimes you're buying when it's green. It's kind of like a situation where you sort of say, okay, well, I'm going to DCA into HHIS. So let's say you make every 2 weeks you buy. You normally buy some stocks. You can just say, all right, I'll buy 5 HHIS every 2 weeks. And then, you would do it on, let's say you did it on a Tuesday at 2 p.m. There you go. Whatever the price is, it doesn't matter. The DCA, because you could, like, I know with Wealthsimple, you can do, you can schedule it and it will just do it for you. That's how you would do something like that. And that way there, it takes all of the mental guessing out of your head. Because sometimes you'll get some people who are like, oh, I'm not going to buy it today. I'm going to wait for it to go down. And then maybe it doesn't go down. And, by the time it does go down and you do buy, that down may actually be higher than the where you first originally had wanted to buy, but you were waiting for it to go down. So, I mean, dollar cost averaging works really well. Now, you got to keep in mind too, with income, and this is the thing, if you're an income investor, you're kind of concerned about the dividends. You're kind of concerned about that income. If anything, when it drops, you're getting a higher yield when you do buy. So when you're dollar cost averaging in during a bear market, you're getting really good deals. So, even when it goes back up, because if you look, you know what? I know what. Let's do this way. Nope, that's the Discord. I don't need the Discord, but hey, we have a Discord, guys. So let's just say, for example, if you've got and let me give me a pen here. So let's say you have a 10% yield on a fund. All right, so that's your yield. Your yield's at 10%, and we go into a bit of a bear market. So all of a sudden, that yield, let's just say it goes all the way up to 15%. And the reason, because the share price is lower and you're still getting that same dividend. So it's a bigger yield. So let's say, for example, you had 100 shares, and then at the bottom here, when it was a yield of 15%, you bought 100 shares. So what does that absolutely mean? Well, that means that you're getting, no matter where it goes from here, like maybe it goes up. Maybe it goes up and comes back to that 10%. That doesn't mean, whoops, let's do it this way. If it comes back up to that 10%, that doesn't mean that that everything is 10% yield anymore. Your dividend, of course, is a fixed price. But when you look at it in comparison to what you purchased, in this case, you've got 100, 100 at 10, and you've got 100 at 15. So technically, in your portfolio, you technically have 200 at 12.5%. I mean, if you averaged it out compared to what you purchased it with. Obviously, that whole amount it's still obviously that's still a 10% yield, but it's not compared to what you put into it, the money that you put into it. Somebody else who came in and bought 200 at 10%, they're getting that straight 10%. But remember, you didn't actually pay the higher price. You paid, half of it was at the higher price, half of it was at the lower price. So that amount gets sort of locked in what you're buying. So yeah, it's not a bad thing to do. All right, Brian, there we go. There was my excuse just to use the whiteboard. Let's see, $12.75 is my average cost on HHIS. Not too bad. That's not too bad. Let's see, HIS is still in the green, 0.30% in the last month. Not too bad. Actually, let me just take a quick look here, guys. Let me see what it is, because I have it in the challenge. HHIS right here. I don't know if I want to tell you guys, but right now in the challenge, it's got a total return of 33.94%. But my adjusted cost base on HHIS is $11.38 in the challenge. So, yeah, what can I say? What can I say? Oh boy, yeah. And that's the thing. Now, mind you, if we go into a bear market, you guys will be able to bring your adjusted cost base down quite a bit for sure. Paul says, but behind, careful not to double down by selling some of a winner to buy more of something down. Yeah. Oh, but be careful. Right. Absolutely. Why is gold and tech down at the same time? Um, that's a good question. It's a good question. Well, gold, a lot of it is people putting money back into equities, and normally you would think tech would be up. You would definitely think that, but uh, yeah. And I will say, Gursky, I'm not sure what is pushing the U.S. tech down today. I did not get a chance. After I finished, like I scripted, today was a scripting day. After I finished scripting, it was time to come into here, and I was like, I didn't get a chance to really look too deep into what was going on in the U.S. that was pulling that tech down today. So I honestly, I don't know. I don't know the answer for that one. All right, guys. Once again, this is another fantastic show. We will be back on Friday, thanks to, well, thanks to yesterday, Kiev and Kaz, Defense, and we'll throw Larry in there too. Larry threw it in right after the bell, but it's a throw in none the same. So we'll be back here on Friday. We're going to do this all over again. We do have another video that will also be dropping on a Friday, and this time I've been talking about that covered call spread for a while. It's time we take a closer look. So we're going to take a closer look at that BMO Gold ETF and that covered call spread. That's coming up on Friday. Also, oh boy, channel members. Tomorrow night, we got a channel member live. So we're going to do that at 7 p.m. And oh boy, Saturday. We have a 3 p.m. stream on Saturday. It is our 4-year, basically 4-year birthday for the channel. We're just gonna, well, technically the birthday itself was a little earlier in the month, but this was the first place I could put it in. So we're gonna just do a 4-year celebration. You can bring questions, or we can just hang out, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's gonna be a chill stream. And then, of course, we'll have our normal Sunday stream as well. Busy, busy weekend. Oh, other news. So if you guys saw this new thing Adriano has been doing, he did that live stream with a whole bunch of people there. What was it, last week? What was it, PII Universe or something? I can't remember the name of it, but I am probably on the next one because he did reach out and ask if I wanted to do it. And I said, yeah, I'll do one. So, yeah, that's just another thing. And so much news. And like I said, I'm also going to be bringing the CEO of Evolve onto the channel. So that'll be a fun one too. So there's so much great stuff coming up in the near future. All right, now, a couple of comments got snuck in. All right, you know what? I'll hit them up before I leave. Paul says the tech was worried about Tesla earnings, which were not terrible, but EPS was 0.5 and estimates were 0.5508, and the earnings also depend on the actual call. Okay, there we are. So Tesla. Yeah. Actually, it was interesting, and I did know about the Tesla. I just didn't think it was bad enough to really impact the market that much. But yeah, absolutely. Let's see, Paul. Tesla free cash flow was the highest ever at $4 billion. When will the Tesla earnings call start? Usually not that long after the market close. So it might be. I wouldn't be surprised if it started. If it hasn't started yet, it's probably going to start soon. But I don't know the exact time, Speedy. All right, guys. I will bid you guys a fond farewell. I'll see you guys on Friday, or if you're a channel member, I'll see you tomorrow. Until then, everyone, enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.